Good morning, good morning, good morning. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you are breathing. Today is Tuesday, January the 10th, 2023. My name is Stephen Carnegie, and welcome to This Is Just a Thought. Today's word of the day, affable, which means a friendly and easy person to talk to. Affable. Hope everyone's enjoying their Tuesday. Not the beginning of the work week. Yesterday, of course, was Monday, but we made it through Monday, and here we are at Tuesday, and we're going to keep on pushing on. Man. Weather here in North Carolina, well, the rain is gone. That's a plus. And, they're saying that, the temperatures have gotten up into the 50s, and then at night it's gotten down to some freezing. We had some freezing last night. Man, I woke up this morning, stepped outside, and was like, oh no. Went back in, I forgot my Kango. It was a little on the cool side. But later on this week, the temperatures are expected to rise up into the 60s. Rain is going to return. Just wintertime in the south. Most places get freezing rain or snow. Looks like a lot of times here in the south we get rain. Just do. But it will return, temperatures will rise, and then after that, of course, temperatures are going to go back down. It's just the winter in the south. Just is. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Some football. Wow, there were some pretty good games on this weekend. And a lot of it was the end of the regular season, and a lot of those teams, a lot of those top tier teams, you guys didn't fare so well. A lot of you got drug. You didn't get beat, you got drug. You just did. We'll start out with the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers won 28-14. I don't think are they in the playoffs? I don't think they are in the playoffs. I think they're just playing this play. And of course, we had the Baltimore Ravens against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals won 27-16. Man, the Ravens. Well, Lamar Jackson's not there, and it's showing. It's showing. It just is. And of course, the Minnesota Vikings defeated the Chicago Bears 29-13. No surprise there. Like I told you guys earlier, Justin Fields wasn't playing. They sat him down. I guess they're saving him for next year. Hey, whatever works for you, works for you. But with the Bears and their dismal record, they have gotten a high draft pick. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next year. Pretty sad. And, of course, the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. The Bills returned to action after the unfortunate on-field incident of Hamlin, him having that heart attack. They returned and they defeated the Patriots 35-23. And in the first play of the game, it was a kickoff return. Of course, that entire game was dedicated to him. Hamlin's doing much better, so much so they've allowed him to be moved from Cincinnati to Buffalo. He's in the hospital there. He's up, walking around. He's communicating. They're saying his recovery is just a miracle. It's a blessing. It just is. Still sending prayers up for him. And the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. The Dolphins won 11-6. They held on. Tua still wasn't there. He may be back this week in their playoff game. I don't know. But, man, that's another one that I hate to say it, but you cringe every time you see him get tackled. You just do. All these concussions this year, I believe he's had a total of 3. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. And the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints, the Panthers won 10-7. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And of course, they have an interim coach, and he certainly has given them some motivation. I mean, hey, they haven't had a great season. They gotten rid of some players, gotten rid of some quarterbacks, got rid of the coach. And this guy's here coaching, the interim coach. He seems to be a pretty good coach. I think they should keep him. Maybe they got money just to hire different coaches and pick up quarterbacks at will. he certainly has those guys playing. Even, like I said, they haven't had a great season, but when he took over, they started playing a little harder. So we'll see what happens with that situation. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons in that garbage NFC South. The Falcons won 30-17. Football Tommy couldn't do it. What happened? Man, I just knew the Bucs were going to do it. Looks like Football Tommy couldn't pull it off. Man, sorry to hear that. And in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New York Giants 22-16. It really wasn't a surprise. Jalen Hurts came back. He was a little rusty. Hopefully they can get it together play for the playoff starts. And we'll see what happens with them. But, man. Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers continue to win 38-13 with the third-string quarterback. How odd is that? They're going into the playoffs. They just are. And they're looking good. So we'll see what happens. But San Fran's looking pretty damn good. Be on the lookout for them. And a third-string quarterback at that. All right, we're going to end it out. But they are, man. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, yo, man. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. Wow, Cowboys. You guys looked horrible. They lost 26-6. And those 6 points were just field goals. They were just field goals. That's all they could do was kick field goals. They couldn't get anything going. The defense, as always, they're tough. They were out on that field an awful lot. Thanks to Dak Prescott. Guy kept throwing interceptions. He led the league in interceptions coming into the game. Damn, if he didn't take the whole title. He took the whole title this year. And there was, right towards the end of the game, there was one particular play. He threw the ball. The guy almost picked it off. He turned right back around the next down and threw it right to him. Man, Dak, what in the world is going on with you? And, of course, he played so horribly, they had to bring in the backup. What is his name? I can't remember the backup's name. But he had to come in and finish out the game. I gather, dare I say, they got tired of seeing Dak Prescott, and they put old Cooper. They put old Cooper in the game. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I just am. I honestly don't think you guys should have ever took Cooper out. I think y'all should have stuck with him, because when he was in those games after Dak Prescott got hurt, Cowboys were winning, and they looked good. But I understand Dak is your quarterback. You paid him all that money. It's another one that still hasn't produced. With all that money they paid, he has not produced not one bit. Oh, man, and of course those Cowboy fans. They're still sticking to their guns. This is our year. We're going to the Super Bowl. That was just the end of the season. It didn't matter. Well, maybe it didn't matter, but man, you guys ended the season with a loss to the Commanders and their third-string quarterback. Old Sam Howell used to play up here at NC State. He looked damn good, too, against that defense. That defense was tired. They were beat up. They've been out on that damn field way too long dealing with Dak Prescott and his interceptions. But yeah, the Washington Commanders defeated the Dallas Cowboys with a third-string quarterback by the name of Sam Howell from North Carolina State University. We them boys. Boy, y'all ain't going nowhere. Because you know who you guys play first. And even though Tampa Bay lost, football Tommy couldn't pull it out, but you guys play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And football Tommy might have a big chip on his shoulder and just might decide to show up and show out against you guys. Good luck. Good luck to the Dallas Cowboys. You guys ain't going nowhere. You're just not. And later that evening, surprise, 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 the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. Lions won 2016. The Lions beat the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, you look just as bad as Dak Prescott. You just did. You couldn't get anything going. The Lions had their number. They just did. Now, I had always said all season the Lions is known for putting big points on the board, but they can't pull it off. I believe they averaged about 30 or 40 some odd points a game, but they just couldn't pull it off. But they didn't put a lot of points on the board Sunday, only 20, but they still pulled it off. They got them one. And at the end of the game, when they asked the coach, or even in the pregame, they asked the coach and the players, what was your motivation going into the game? You knew you guys weren't going to the playoffs. It was a wrap. It was done. And they simply said, well, if we're not going, Green Bay's not going either. And damn it, they did. They held true to that. They didn't let it go. Green Bay Packers were defeated by the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I got on my bear down. I do. Yeah. Did my heart good. I danced all over the place. Man, Aaron Rodgers, and many are speculating or saying this quite possibly be his last time in a Green Bay uniform. May be playing for another team, or he may retire. Well, who cares? Nobody cares. Just to let you know, nobody cares if you come back or you retire or you go to another team. Nobody cares. Just don't. Nobody cares about what Aaron Rodgers does. Oh, he was hurt. He looked like he had lost his best friend. So much so, him and Dobbs, his oftentimes go-to receiver, they walked off the field together down the tunnel into the sunset. Ooh. He looked like a sad sack. He just did. Boy, sorry Green Bay. Sorry Cowboys. You guys ain't, well, we know Green Bay ain't going nowhere. Dallas, you ain't going nowhere either. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Just hang it up. Better luck next year. Just like the Bears. Better luck next year. Yeah, I think football Tommy is going to show up and show out on you guys. Damn. You may be the recipient of it. All right, let's move along here. Enough of that. Enough of my trolling and lurking, as I've been told, as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, that's just what I do. That's just what I do. All right, I'm sure by now we all have heard the horrible story coming out of Newport News, Virginia, Friday. A 6-year-old is in custody for shooting his teacher in class Friday. That's right. 6 years old. Shot his teacher. During class. Here's what has developed since then. We now know where he got the gun from. He got his mother's 9mm handgun from home, took it to school, and somehow, some way, some sort of altercation happened, and he pulled out his gun, and that gun, I'm sorry, not his gun, pulled out the gun, shot his teacher in the hand and the stomach. Now, here's what we also know now. Like I said, this happened during class. Other kids were there. And somehow, some way, it's still not clear what happened, what the altercation was. But somehow, some way, he pulled the gun out and shot. The teacher then walked out of the room after she made sure the other kids were secure. She walked to the principal's office and told them, hey, call 911, I've been shot. And the student was subdued by or held by another faculty member. Wow, the gun violence in this country. Now everybody is asking and saying, hey, where did he get the gun? Now we know where he got the gun. But here's the question for me, and this is just me. I am always stepping out on that proverbial limb, as I always say. Here's the question for me: what happened in his mind, his thought process, at 6 years old, that the only way to resolve a conflict or a disagreement was for him to get a hold of a gun and try to kill someone, his teacher? Let's just be honest with each other. He tried to kill her. He shot her. I don't know. Maybe guns, or some instances of guns, they aren't used to try to kill people in some imaginary world or land somebody's living in. But in this world right here, I know that when you fire a gun at someone, your only purpose is to kill. At least that's how I was raised. So at 6 years old, my question is, what went on in his mind, that he got himself together to even fathom the notion of getting a gun, taking it to school, and shooting his teacher? I mean, that's just something that, will we ever find out, or will we ever know? And what is going on with our youth? It seems like this is going on throughout the country, because late last year, a 10-year-old up in Wisconsin shot and killed his mother because she refused to buy him one of those virtual video game sets. Yeah. Grabbed her gun while she was downstairs in the basement doing laundry, walked down there in the basement and shot her in the face with her own gun. 10 years old. So we have a 10-year-old and we have a 6-year-old that are, their only resolution to solving a problem or a conflict or a disagreement is to get a gun. Well, that's very indicative of society today, because that's what adults do. It just is. That's just what adults do. Whenever there's a problem or a conflict, a lot of adults will go and grab a gun. So that's where these kids are getting it from. Let's just be honest with each other. It's not TV. It's not movies. It's not video games. It's not music. It's parents and other adults. They're mimicking what they see. At 6 years of age, you have the wherewithal and mindset to go get a gun, or go grab or take your mother's gun, take it to school with you, and shoot your teacher. Maybe because you didn't like what she was saying to you. Was she too strict on you? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? She's recovering, by the way. I believe they're saying she's still in critical condition. They're hoping and praying that she makes a full recovery. But man, 6 years of age, shot his damn teacher. That is us as society as a whole now. Our kids, they're mimicking what they see. They see adults doing this with their little disagreements. And somehow, some way, they figure it's okay. Just is. Or a 10-year-old who can't get his way, he's not getting what he wants. Maybe Mom Dukes finally put her foot down and said, no, you're not getting it. And he goes and gets her gun, goes downstairs into the basement where she's washing clothes, probably washing his clothes, and kills her, shoots her in the face. Interesting story about that. He's in contact with the family members, the 10-year-old in Wisconsin. He's in contact with other family members, the older adults, and he's asking them, and he's making them promise and assure him that his other video gadgets, his other electronics, are safe. What in the world is going on with us in this world with these guns? And now our youth, with as far as youth and guns, that used to be confined to the black community or the Hispanic community, the hood. It was once upon a time, it was our youth that were quick to pick up a gun and kill. Now it looks like it's trickled down into everyday society. Just has. I have no words whatsoever. I just don't. When I heard that story Friday about that 6-year-old, I had to listen to it about 2 times because I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. A 6-year-old took a gun to school and shot his teacher. Are you serious? Yeah, it happened. Let you guys know what happens with that. Keep you updated. But man, why, what in the world? What in the world? All right, let's move along here, man. Looks like the 411 option and the 0 for operator option is being done away with. Starting this month, AT&T customers that still have digital landlines, your cell phones, I should say, you still have your cell phones, that option for 411 and 0 for operator is going to be done away with. And it's still going to hold on to it and keep it for those that have landlines, the old phones in the home. But for those on the cell phones, that's being done away with. You know the operator at one point in time in this country, they were a very integral part of our everyday lives. Whether it be in the late 1800s through the 1900s. In the late 1800s, and even for you to make a phone call, the old Andy Griffin show, we had to pick up the phone and say and click it and say, hey, whoever operator, patch me through this number or whatever, what have you. So they're doing away with the option for 411 and 0. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, why are they doing that? Operators aren't needed. At one point in time in this country, there was upwards of 420,000 operators. Now we go to 2021, there was only 4,000. So they're being done away with. And the reason is, of course, Google. Duh. Don't need them anymore. Not to sound cruel and heartless, but you got a mini computer in the palm of your hand. You don't have to hit 0. You don't have to call 411. You can just go over to your Google tab and Twitter fingers. Get everything you need right there in the palm of your hand. Dang. We went from 420,000 at one time to 4,000. Those days ago. Now, the other carriers like Verizon, T-Mobile, and other major carriers, they're going to continue on with that option for 411 and 0 for operator, but there's going to be a fee. Of course, there's going to be a fee. Wow. So I guess they're going to keep a few of them around just in case. So the thing that came to my mind is with them taking away that option, what about those the elderly? Because another interesting article that I read, it talked about the elderly and their fight or their plight for as it relates to couponing at the grocery store. Now these coupons, they aren't in the newspaper like they used to be, where you could sit around. Another thing you used to do, sit around and clip out the coupons. You no longer have to do it. You can download that retailer's app, the grocery store app, and attach those coupons to your cell phone, your telephone number. So you go into the grocery store, you type in your telephone number, and you get your discounts. The article I read, it talked about, and it sounds very eerily familiar to this, if you think about it, maybe it's a sign of the time, that a lot of the elderly people were saying, hey, I don't have a cell phone. What about me? A lot of elderly people, they don't like to use cell phones. They'll tell you quick, that's the devil's work. They just will. And so what about them? They're going to have to get on board or get left behind? Because now it appears that not only with those coupons, but now with 411 and that 0 option for operator, a lot of this stuff is being done away with. The old way of doing or living our lives is being done away with. Like I said, man, the operator just wasn't an integral part of our everyday life. They were it. Hey, like I said, at one point in time, I never had to do it. I'm not that old. You had to pick up the phone and hit the little click the thing and say operator. I never had to do that. I always picked up the phone, got a dial tone, just started dialing numbers. But if I needed some assistance, and if I needed a number, or I needed quite possibly to know where something was, or get a telephone number, I called 411. Or if I needed a number, 0 for operator. So that option is being taken away. Wow. Sign of the times, sign of the times. Certainly is something to think about on that elderly aspect as it relates to our progression towards with new technology or existing technology and the updates. Because like I said, a lot of old folks, they'll tell you quick, I ain't using that mess. That's the devil's work. They just will. Man, certainly something to ponder. Just is. All right, let's go get it. Now this next story. I personally just find it pretty sickening and disgusting and despicable that another human being would even fathom the notion of doing something like this. Now, it looks like there has been 2 incidences on Air India flights, and they've sparked outrage and criticism from Air India and how they handle the situations. Well, a lot of these companies, they don't want to get a black eye or have a smear beside their name, so they'll keep things hush hush for as long as they can, at least until the general public gets a hold of it. And that appears to be what has happened. Now, like I said, they're drawing criticism for their handling of 2 incidents that took place on board their flights. Now, there was one in November of last year where a female passenger was urinated on by a male passenger. Yeah, you heard me. Mid-flight, from New York to India, this person urinated on a female passenger. Now, he had been observed consuming large amounts of alcohol. And one passenger said he noticed he became incoherent. He was stuttering and stammering over his words, slurring his speech. Good Lord, how much alcohol can you consume on a flight? I thought they had a cutoff. How many damn miniatures did he toss back? So apparently what happened, he was drinking, he was tossing them back, and he just got up, whipped it out, and started urinating on the lady. There was another incident in December on a flight from Paris to India, where this particular person, drinking heavily, got up, urinated in the seat, and urinated on the blanket that another female passenger was using. Now, the first one, this is where Air India is catching a lot of flack. A lot of people are asking questions and they want some answers. Because the first one, that gentleman, he at first, he was arrested, but he was only arrested after the family member's family began to ask questions and wanted to know what was going on. He was arrested and he served 14 days in prison while the investigation takes place. Now, this is really what's pissing people off. Air India suspended him for 30 days from flying. Probably should he doesn't need to fly at all. Just like these fools over here in the United States, when they jump up and start fighting these flight attendants, take that right away. It's not a privilege, it's a right. Take that right away. You don't need to fly at all. You can't handle your alcohol, and you certainly can't handle your bodily functions because you jump up and start pissing on folks. So that's what has a lot of people up in arms. They want to know how in the world can Air India only suspend this guy for 30 days and he only gets 14 days in jail while there's an investigation going on. Now, if he is found guilty, he could face 3 years in prison. Second part, Air India, like I said, didn't call the police. He wasn't arrested until that victim's family members started raising you know what. And they wanted some answers. Now, the second one, this is, it's not funny, but the second gentleman, that case was, Air India said that they didn't, hold anyone accountable because they figured, or they were left to believe that both of them, the male and the female, had reconciled. They solved the problem amongst themselves. And no, That second one released a statement saying, "Oh, I can't believe I acted like that. I had way too much to drink. I apologize. Yada 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 yada." Buddy, they always say a drunk mind speaks a sober mind. Where in this instance, a drunk mind carries out a sober mind's actions. People are always blaming stuff on alcohol and drugs for how they conduct themselves. That's just who you are. You are. You're a nasty, disgusting, filthy, common savage. For you to sit there and for you to urinate on someone, that's just who you are. Nothing in common sense, morality, or alcohol or drugs or whatever, what have you, nothing in that says to me that you can justify urinating on another human being that's just minding their damn business on a flight. Now, the first gentleman, Mr. Toss 'em Back, he worked for what they term an American multinational financial service company, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo fired him. Yeah, they should. You're an embarrassment. You're a black eye. You're a smear beside their name. They can't even entrust you to do your job. Get on a plane, go here and there, conduct business, get back on the plane, go back home. They can't even entrust you to do that. You drink too much. That's what you said. You drink too much. You can't control your actions and reactions. You can't control your bodily fluids. So Wells Fargo fired him. Yeah. Wow. What is going on in this world with us as human beings? What in the world? I've been drunk many a days. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I drink. Navy days, got out the Navy, drink now. But I'm always in control of my actions and reactions. I never get that drunk that I can't tell you what I did, or I never get that drunk where I have to go back and apologize for my behavior. And let me just say, I've been smashed many days. I have. I've been ripped. But I've always remained in control. So if you can't remain in control when you get a hold of that joy juice, maybe you should just leave it the hell alone. Be done with it. I think after this incident, especially with that first guy losing that job at Wells Fargo, where you were traveling internationally and you lost that job because you can't control your alcohol and you're a disgusting, despicable human being urinating on folks, I think you may want to back up off the bottle there, homie. Let it go, man. Let it go. Cost you a damn good job. And a record. Because I think those family members, I think that guy, he probably would have gotten away with that. If those family members hadn't started raising hell, he probably would have got away with that. I just do. I believe that. He would have gotten away with that wholeheartedly. Hey. So Air India has some explaining to do, and this isn't the first instance of Air India and their troubles with public perception and how they handle situations. Apparently, they have multiple complaints. A lot of people are looking and questioning them now, especially after these two incidents. Man, might be some more. Just might. I'm getting ready to go on and get out of here. Time to skedaddle. Oh, man, I almost forgot. Hey, we have a new Speaker of the House. Looks like McCarthy was approved late Friday night, but it didn't come without a little bit of controversy and of course a little they were getting ready to fight. They had to be physically restrained. Apparently McCarthy, when they took one vote and there was another representative, and the thing with that is you either vote yay or nay, or if you don't want to vote, you just say present. And this particular representative, when they asked him his vote, he said present. So McCarthy got up, walked to him, wagging that finger, and they had some words. And then another representative who was sitting across the aisle, I guess he got up out of his seat. He came down there and wanted to give that guy a piece of his mind, and he had to be physically restrained. Wow. Well, that's democracy. As messy as it looks and embarrassing as it is, it's democracy. You have human beings, their emotions, they want to get their point across, or they don't like a certain thing, a situation, a person, they're going to let it be known. So McCarthy is in there with a few concessions, and one of the concessions is that at any point in time, any representative can call a vote to have the speaker removed. So I guess that's their way of saying to him, hey, if you want our vote, you better put that in there, because at any point in time, we know how you are. Now, you know the Republican Party, those representatives that was the holdout, they weren't too fond of his politicking. So essentially what they said, if you want this seat that you said at one point in time you deserved and earned, you better put that concession in there, because one wrong move, you're out of here, buddy. And we ain't playing with you. So we have a new Speaker of the House. All the newly elected and returning representatives have now been sworn in, because I didn't know without that Speaker of the House, those that had got elected, they weren't sworn in. They couldn't be sworn in because they didn't have a Speaker of the House. So now they have a Speaker of the House and they are sworn in, and business is up and running. Looks like. Man, all right. Well, that's that. Finally got that little piece of business taken care of. And also, hey, look, can someone explain to me in the comments section, and I'm going to really look into it myself, why are eggs almost $10 a carton for 12 eggs? $10, almost. Well, some places it's 8, some places it's 9 or 7 or whatever. $10 for a carton of eggs? Are you serious? Well, I went in the grocery store, and I looked, and I thought I was like, well, what is this? Why is it $10? I almost fell out in the dairy case. I couldn't believe it. $10 for a dozen of damn eggs. Are you serious? And also, by the way, gas is going back up. They announced that this morning. They said the reasoning being is because China has lifted their COVID restrictions. So the price of gas has to go back up. Not sure of that connection or correlation, but hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. So we're right back where we started with these prices. We're being yanked and jerked around. Just so. Like I said, I'm going to get out of here, going to skedaddle. I'm off today, and I'm going to enjoy myself once again. I want to thank you all for listening to me this morning. And I also want to thank you all for lending me your ears. Continue to follow and listen and support and share on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Verbal, and WordPress, and now on YouTube. And as always, wherever you are streaming, hit that like and subscribe button so you can get notified when I drop these podcasts. Keep you in the loop. Thank you for listening. My name is Stephen Carnegie. This is Just a Thought. Amen.